Among the newer platforms, the Sega CD development system costs $40,000. 3DO costs $15,000. Rumor of the price tag for Nintendo Project Reality and Sega Saturn are in the $100,000 range. By contrast, Atari development kits are $7,500 for the Lynx and $55,000 for the Jaguar.
Awesome.
People making Lynx games in 94?
I mean, it was slightly more successful than the Jaguar, so it might have... I don't know if it outlived it. I'm going to look up how many Lynx games there were.
But the Lynx was slightly more successful than the Jaguar. Is that true?
I believe that's true.
I mean, I'm not saying that surprises me in any way. It's just like, what a heck of a statistic to wheel out, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, if that statistic were a person, it would be Hannibal Lecter when he's in his straitjacket with his mask on, and he's wheeled out on that like box pallet loading wheeler thing, whatever those are called. That's what that statistic would be, being rolled out of the airplane.
Yeah, actually, I guess it doesn't really count either way, because the last Lynx game that was official was 1999, which of course is very incredibly late for a Lynx game, but it was released by Telegames. And that basically doesn't count because all of that is after Telegames bought all the Atari stuff and just released whatever was available. But I don't think there was a Jaguar game in 1999 that was officially released. So let me just check that. Okay, so Atari put out a few games into January 1996 before it went to Telegames. And then Atari put out like 2 Lynx games in 95, so it's about the same. I guess neither really outlasted the other in the Atari sense, and in the Telegames sense, the Lynx lasted longer. That's right.
That goddarn guy. Can you imagine this being Can you imagine that being your response to something in real life?
Kind of.
Can you?
I mean, now that I've heard it so many times, I can imagine.
Yeah.
If you were to, did you know it's the most common sound that plays when Mario gets hit in Super Mario 64. The sound effect title, the name of the sound is Mario Takes Damage. That's the name of the sound effect.
That's very good.
I mean, it's a very, very visceral sound, isn't it?
It's true.
It does not sound. It's not casual at all. It
could be somebody throwing up. It could be someone getting punched in the stomach. It could be someone throwing something really far.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like he is getting like Evander Holyfield uppercutted in the stomach. Is what it sounds like.
The ghost is leaving his body.
You know, like it's a very brutal sound. Let's do that again. Here it comes. Or maybe being kicked in the stomach by Chuck Norris. That's what that would be. Chuck Norris, a good reference point for that sound effect. Is he dead? He's not dead, is he?
Nah, he's not. You all were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy being a smooth experience, and I was playing it and having a few blockers that I felt like were maybe they were partially just me, but it's not as smooth as I'd hoped. I was really excited about it. I guess I shouldn't have done that. I'm playing it, but I'm not all the way in there, because there are 4 things that bugged me. Well, 5. One of them was how oh god, I lost my brain.
How the main character is based on a character played by Chris Pratt, but he's not Chris Pratt, and then even though you don't like Chris Pratt, and you kind of keep thinking about him while you play the game.
No,
is that one?
Actually, I didn't.
Is that one of the 5 things?
You
keep thinking about that guy, whether you want to or not. It's like, oh, this guy's supposed to look like a guy who doesn't look like this guy. How much of a challenge is that for the character designers, right?
Yeah, they found a generic man face and had to do a different generic man face. So the issues are, one, that it bugs me when there are games that have 2 answers to questions all the time, but one of them is like definitely right, even though like the game presents it as, and it could be different stuff, but one of them gives you more gameplay and the other doesn't, or one of them makes one character mad and the other one doesn't do anything. I don't like that kind of stuff, because I basically have to look it up every time there's a choice, because I don't want to go through it a second time. So there's that one. Then there's the QuickTime events, which are difficult to parse the first time through. They're not very good QuickTime events. That's not a big deal, but I don't usually die in QuickTime events, and I died a bunch in these ones because I didn't know what they wanted from me the first couple times.
They should just let you turn those all off in all video games, shouldn't they?
I agree.
I don't mind watching a cutscene.
Actually, I feel like there were a lot of accessibility options to that one. You probably can turn QuickTime events off.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I might be able to do that. The next one was just a personal thing where I don't really like controlling the team. Just didn't really enjoy that aspect. And then the last one, I don't know, this is probably just like being bad at video games, but I don't think that you should map a thing that changes how the screen looks and stops you from shooting to R3 to the like clicking in the right stick.
Oh yeah. I've been anti having to click the stick period in video games for a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't like stick clicks at all. I see a lot of people recently picking particularly on stick clicks that cause in Gran Turismo 7 the stick clicks cause you to turn the headlights on and toggle high beams and low beams. And if you're playing with a controller and not with a wheel, because I don't have have room in my house for a steering wheel, don't yell at me, people. I complained about this on a stream and got yelled at by some commenters who were like, "Oh, you just get a wheel, dude." It's like, no, I don't got room for it. I don't like doing the night races at all because I got messed up eyeballs, right? I got these,
Sure.
I got cataracts, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting my 7 years before the health insurance will pay for the surgery. They pay for it if you're over 50, and I think that's how it works. So don't quote me on that. It's what my ophthalmologist briefly quoted to me. And driving at night is just kind of scary in general. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Nigel Mansell. It's just picked an F1 driver out of a hat there. I always saw people's complaints about accidentally clicking the analog stick, and I always, I empathized, right? And I don't like clicking the stick at all, period, especially because that's my movement thing, right? Yeah. I don't even like that it clicks, to be perfectly honest. I wish it didn't. There are some actions I'm okay with having on there sometimes, like click the right stick to lock on, right? That seems kind of cool. If the click was a little heavier, maybe I'd like it more. But when I realized that clicking the left stick was why my headlights were just flashing constantly during the hairpin turns, which are the worst ones if you're going at like 120 miles per hour. You really want the visibility there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, people will say you get a wheel, or they'll say maybe you should learn how to do it by feel, bro. It's like, I don't know. I'm not some god at driving. I just would risk. So this is where I just recommend everybody get a controller with paddles on it. Write to your local video game senator, your local representative, your local video game representative, and tell them that you want the first party video game hardware makers to put paddles on the back of their controllers, remappable paddles. It would be nice. I recently got the Scuff PlayStation 5 controller, the Scuff Reflex Pro. I got my paddles on my PS5 games, and it sure does feel so much nicer than the PlayStation 5 controller. It feels like a PlayStation 5 controller, but so much more solid. Doesn't feel 3D printed. And the stick clicks, this is the punchline here. Stick clicks are about 20 grams heavier, so less prone to accidentally clicking, which is fun.
Yeah, it's good. The last thing that I had trouble with in the game is I'm finding myself getting a bit exhausted and worn down by the interpersonal relationship of the crew, because my main character is just going, "Come on, Rocket, listen."
No, he's saying, "Come on." It's you gotta get the "come on."
Come on.
Like 25% of all lines are just some version of that. It's like,
I'm actually very upset that they changed Groot's catchphrase from "I am Groot" to "Hello, Jerry."
How you doing? It's me, Groot.
Hello, Jerry. He keeps calling everybody Jerry.
Yeah, it's pretty weird that they changed that. And also, this game is like, I briefly forgot that this was a Marvel property because I only watched the intro once. Man, they're always like, "Oh, during the Blorfian War when the Smash Muds came out." And I was like, man, I don't know anything about any of this.
I don't think you're supposed to know any of that.
Guardians of the Galaxy is very much a what do you call it? It's like an ocean of stuff you're not supposed to know anything about. They have this like,
you're supposed to know about Thanos, and you're supposed to know about the people that imprisoned.
All you gotta know about Thanos is he's a chump, he's a punk, and he's dead. That's all you gotta know. He got punked.
Sorry, we were talking about Mario sound effects, and that entire time I've been looking for something that I now have for you.
What is it? Let's hear it. Let's find out about it.
I want you to hear his on fire scream in the Space World 95 demo.
Oh, yes. I wish I had it on my soundboard, dude. I don't hear anything. I don't hear nothing.
I hear it.
It's so good.
It's him going. Oh! It's
Oh well.
pretty,
I wish I was able to have heard it.
it's pretty good.
I just visited a video game website, and the ad is like legit half of the screen.
Good.
All right, I will drag drop this image of what this website looks like. Here you go. Look at this. This is this is. What do you think of that? Huh? That's the first thing I saw. That's what it looks like. I can't get to any text of anything. I was like,
It's Kotaku.com right there.
I'm gonna try to read about the video game news. It sounds like there's big video game news has just happened. Well, where should I go for that? And then it's like, oh, it's that's not the right way to get it anymore. Force a habit. That habit's gonna go.
The more you try to look at a website and it looks like you've already got a computer virus, the less you're going to go to a website, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we already live absolutely in heck as far as information goes, the flow of it and such. Because here's another little pearl of wisdom, as it were. This is, I just typed Activision into Twitter and look at the very top. The very top result for the searching for Activision is IGN. Breaking news 23 hours ago. Remedy and Rockstar Games have announced that they're remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. How is that the number one result for the word Activision?
It is really tiring. I was reading last night about how Facebook has lost something like 45% of the teens that it used to have. It now only 17% of teens say that they use Facebook. And one of the big things that they say is that obviously they say Facebook's for old people, and then they say it's full of misinformation and fake stuff and a whole bunch of nonsense that's tiring. And Facebook is like, we're looking at ways to get teens, and all the ways that they're looking at are basically, we have to do the same thing as TikTok, or we have to do this other thing. But none of them are, we need to get rid of the disinformation and make it so that only old people's whining posts get to the top of the feed. That's not, because they need that, because that's what keeps the old people there. Man, it's such a heck of a situation.
It's been proven, or it's been shown, or it's been demonstrated somehow that Facebook's out there just trying to smear TikTok, right? Being like, oh, they're taking your data. It's China's coming for you teenagers. And it's like, you're clearly just trying to steal it, though, because Instagram has those reels on it that they won't let you not look at sometimes. I think I've mentioned before on this show how I unfollowed Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on Instagram for a particular reason. And I'll be darned if I don't still just see him. Suggested for you. There he is. And then there's reels. The reels are just everywhere. And sometimes you look at a reel and you didn't really want to. And then your user interface for getting out of it is really bad. TikTok works because it's all in on that idea.
Yeah. Have you noticed how some of that has infected things like Netflix and especially Amazon Prime, where on Amazon Prime movies, my entire things we think you would like column is either something I have already watched on Amazon Prime or something I currently have in my queue. And it's like, yeah, you think I might like it because I added it or I watched it. Congratulations. It's just
so bonkers.
It's really, it's weird. It's strange. What is even the point of showing it to me?
Okay, so Activision gave they made all 1,100 testers full time, but they're with the minimum wage of $20 per hour. However, they are not doing the same for their Raven QA testers because they're unionizing due to our legal obligations under the National Labor Relations Act.
I see. Wow. So these headlines that I saw were a bit misleading. Because that's burying the lead as far as I'm concerned.
$20 an hour is not that much. I've thought this through, and I think for a QA job, I literally sat down and thought about this. I think for a QA job, minimum wage should be $45 per hour, is what I think. for that job, for that particular job.
That'd be good.
I mean, I arrived at that number via a process that took. That's just what I think. I don't know what that. I mean, maybe I'm sure they have enough money to pay that, but then I guess the guys with the boats don't have as many, I don't know, pairs of shorts to wear while on their boat or whatever it is. What are they looking for?
They need more Bermuda shorts, goddarn.
They need more shorts to wear on my boat. I only have 12 pairs of shorts to wear on this boat.
Jorts on my board.
Hello and welcome back to the Insert Credit Show, the only opportunity you will have this week to hear what a guy thinks about video games. I'm Tim Rogers, filling in for Alex Jaffe this week because
Who's dead?
Because he's straight up died. Alex Jaffe, I called him and I said, Alex Jaffe, he said, I need you to host the show. He called on the phone desperately. He said, I need you to host the show. And I said, why? And then he said, I don't have any time to is what he said. So there we go. That was my joke. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah, I like it.
I think he got shot by a sniper. That's a joke. He's got something going on. We should all hope that if we do die being shot by a sniper, we do have the opportunity to make this sound, right?
Yes.
Because how much of a dope would you be if you just got hit and then you didn't have time to do that, right? I am joined on the show today by our panelists, which includes me, Tim Rogers, and also we've got, who else do we got on here?
Me. I'm here. This is Frank Cifaldi.
Okay, and what sound effect would you make if you were shot by a sniper? Let's hear it. One syllable.
Oh, I have to make the sound. I thought you were gonna play one from your sound bank, like "Good Luck" or something like that. Like my dying moment is just "Good luck." Like just at the moment of death, I wish good luck to the entire world and hope that it's recorded. Let's just go with that.
Taken aback by the sheer randomness with which he just got shot, Frank Cifaldi blames luck and wishes that everyone else have it a little bit better.
Good luck!
All right, what would you... Also, we've got Brandon Sheffield on the show.
Hello.
What sound would you make if you got shot by a sniper?
Unfortunately, the first sound that came to mind is the sound of a right-wing libertarian man being curious about something, which is... It's actually, it's kind of like the opposite of that sound. So, Tim the tool guy, if I get shot by a sniper, I'd go, and then when people meme my death, they can go, after my death. I think that's
and then you get that little gold coin sound coming up in there.
Yeah.
There are, I should point out, Fallout mods to do exactly that. Like when you die, it plays that exact song. So.
Oh, well, very good.
Yeah.
The kids are ahead
That's
of me.
fantastic.
See, what I would do is the stinger ending of the theme from Matlock. I think that would be my death song.
Well, that rules.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, that's real good. That's real
Also,
good.
later we might have Ash Parrish, but let's find out if we do.
We'll find out soon, and we'll find out like a cartoon. This is already shaping up to be the worst episode ever. So I've been asking Alex Jaffe for a while to let me host an episode because I have some sort of a concept, some sort of a concept for an episode I would like to host. He told me I could do that episode today, and I told him, no, I'm not going to do that episode today because that episode requires him to be a panelist on the show, so he can savor the panelist experience under my grand scheme that I have. So, in other words, today I'm thinking it's time for a little substitute teacher action. So this is Insert Credit Study Hall episode. So, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready?
Question number 1.
All right. Question number 1.
Okay.
Did y'all see the news this week? The video game news? That's it. That's the question. So imagine your substitute teacher strutting in. I'm thinking of a particular substitute teacher. Yeah, so what did you guys see the news this week? There you go. What do you got? What do we got? What's video game news this week? 6 minutes on the clock.
I'm imagining you with like a tie that has trains on it.
Yeah.
I feel like substitute teachers, their ties would have trains. I mean, even if it was a woman, they would have a tie with a train. It's just kind of is what it was like.
Just a whole bunch of trains.
I don't know what the like mainstream news is, but I know the real hot news.
What's the hot news?
That?
Which is that the Video Game History Foundation recently recovered Beethoven's Second for the Sega Genesis. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you've got it now. Wait. What was going on with it last week? Did you have it last week?
I don't remember if we had it last week. I'm getting deja vu. Maybe I've talked about
you
this.
You were talking about it a little bit on our bonus episode.
Oh, okay. Well, here it is. So
now it's confirmed. You have it. You have the dog in hand.
We have the dog in hand. It is. Oh, I believe I hadn't played it yet. I've now played it. It is a Beethoven Metroidvania. I'm not joking. So, and it is the second game worked on by Way Forward.
Oh, W Forward.
Oh yeah, so you confirmed that part.
Would you describe it as a Beethovenia?
No, that's not a word I think I would ever say out loud.
Oh,
but actual news. We were talking before the show, right, about the Activision thing, about hiring them QA folk, right?
Yeah, and that's in fact why Ash is not here yet. She's writing it up. Got to be that. So yeah, Activision made 1,100 QA testers full time at $20 an hour, but is not doing the same for the Raven software testers because they're unionized, and so
simply because they're unionized. That's dark, dude.
Sure feels like the world. They're like trying to put a real positive spin on it in order to put a negative spin on it.
That is like a decision made by like a man who carries a pocket watch. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it seems like. That's like pocket watch business decision making. Mm-hmm. Lord.
Well, I don't believe that like Activision itself decided to make this. Like it has something to do with this upcoming Microsoft thing, right?
Probably.
All right, we have Ash here. Ash, clear this up for us. What's going on?
I'm here.
What's going on with them Activision QA folk?
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Okay, so earlier today, Activision Blizzard was like, hey, we're going to convert all these, like over 1,000 of their temporary and contract QA employees to full-time. On top of that, they're also instituting like a minimum pay of $20 an hour for all of those employees. So in this like conversation that we've been having about QA and how we treat QA, Activision Blizzard decides, okay, we're going to convert all of these employees to full-time and give them a significant raise. And so while everybody was busy patting them on the back for that, it kind of snuck in because Blizzard sent this, as a bit of inside baseball because I'm a member of the media. Blizzard sent this like it's a massive PR blast to a bunch of different outlets. What they failed to mention was that the people at Raven Software, which is a Call of Duty support studio that were the QA people that work there, who have just voted to form like the company's first union and only like one of 2 unions at AAA studios in the country, they're not going to be able to take advantage of that pay. So It's like big old carrot and a big old stick behind it. So what happened is the reasoning they're given is that because there's an ongoing process, the labor union hasn't been formally recognized, there's a voting process that has to happen, that they're unable to give them pay. Like they've already been converted to full time, but they're unable to give them like the pay raise because of this is an ongoing thing. So they're saying like, okay, well we can't do this, sorry. And the email that they sent to everybody at Raven was like, yeah, through direct communication between employees and their bosses, we were able to do all these things, but we can't do that for you because you're in a union. Sorry. And it's like, it's a massive, what the fuck, bitch assiest moves of the bitch ass thing that I have ever seen in my life. So that's why I was late. Sorry.
And do you think it has anything to do with this Microsoft merger as well? Or are they doing it in preparation for that? Or do you think it has nothing to do with it?
I don't really think of it as having to do with that. I mean, the way that they're putting it, I guess, or the way that they have put it is that they're with Call of Duty specifically because this is their big cash cow, and they're changing from like this notion of like yearly releases or every other year to like always on, like converting Call of Duty into this like forever game that will always need a ton of support behind it, which is why I guess they're doing what they're doing. It also might be to like, put a little shine on it or whatever. But, this is all part of like a massive PR laundering scheme because they've been getting their ass beat rightfully so bad because of all of the shit that's going on in the media about them. And it's about to get worse. Like with Overwatch 2 coming out, like they're on full damage control mode. And this was part of that.
Well, that's what's going on in
Well,
the news.
there you go. The news straight from the source of news.
That was the news.
That's the news.
That is hot off the press. Ash, how long between publishing that story and jumping in here was it?
I gave my copy to my copy editors and I'm like, somebody has to push the go live button because I have to go. So like steaming hot, smoke still rising.
I'm going to go to Kotaku.com right now, see if it's even up there or if we got the scoop. It's not yet up there. This is pre-Kotaku.
I don't work at Kotaku anymore.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
Where are you? I actually don't know where you are. I'm sorry.
Where do people from Kotaku go when they have that experience of opening up Kotaku.com on their mobile phone and seeing what we have in that screen cap there, and they think, do I really want to work here anymore? Where do they go?
They go to Vox
Cipolli?
Media.
Where?
There you go. Vox Media. Great.
I would say, well, I don't know. Actually, there's several places they go now that I think about it. I would go to TheVerge.com if I were someone working at Kotaku. That's where I would go. Is that a place?
That's the place.
That's we have this screen cap. I went to Kotaku.com to try to see what the Activision news was, and it was all ads. My big news of this week was when I saw that they're remaking Max Payne 1 and 2, and then I read the press release, and it was remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 in the Northlight engine as one game, which really appeals to me a lot.
That's curious.
I just want to say that those people over there at Remedy, I'll freely admit I was a bit of a Remedy Games poser for a while. I never really played Max Payne 1 and 2 until after I'd played a little bit of Max Payne 3, and then I was like, oh, let's try these other ones, and I plunged through them, and then I played Alan Wake and whatever. Remedy's got that Alan Wake remaster. They've got this Max Payne 1 and 2 remake. They're calling it a remake, not a remaster. So a remake. They've got Control. I've still never played Quantum Break. I gotta play Quantum Break. Good on those people over there. And where are they at? Finland?
Finland.
That's a place, right? Okay, so I guess it's now time officially for
Question number 2.
I said 2 twice, and this question regards the other big news of the week, which is a new Sonic the Hedgehog movie's coming out tomorrow. How's that feel for everybody? It's time to talk about our favorite experiences watching video game movies, or whatever evergreen topic. It's quite evergreen to talk about video game movies, isn't it?
Always top of mind.
I want to do some kind of a ranking of them someday because
of all video game movies, man.
Not all.
That'd
of them.
be a
that
list.
Would be too many.
That'd be a list episode and a half, wouldn't it?
As many as we've watched, I think would be which is still a lot.
I have this duty. There's things in life, right? There are things. There are things you're never going to do, right? You reach a certain age and you realize how many of these things you think would be cool to do, you're never going to do. So you accidentally begin shifting focus to the things you can do, right? And one of those things is watching all the video game movies. There's not that many of them.
No, there's like 50.
You could troop through all of them in a couple of weeks, and then it's like you've done it. You've watched an entire genre of movies. Yeah. Now, I have watched like 60 noir movies in the last like 2 years.
Yeah, but you'll never finish that project.
And that's a lot of work, right? That's a genre. When you get into neo-noir and you ask, is neo-noir noir? And the answer is, well, yeah, I guess it is 90% of the time. Video game movies, though, we can watch all of those. Yeah. I think we should watch them, dude.
Okay, maybe we will.
I've seen all those Uwe Boll Dungeon Siege movies.
Yeah.
I've seen those. The one with god darn Dolph Lundgren in there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody see that one? In the Name of the King 2?
Oh, In the Name of the King 2.
In the Name of the King 2, yeah. The second one. I'm talking about number
2.
The second one to come out. In the Name of the King 1, starring man, have any of you all watched those movies?
I think I saw In the Name of the King 1. And didn't that have like Jason Statham or someone in it?
Jason Statham played Farmer in the first one. His name was Farmer, which is that's what the base class is in Dungeon Siege 1. You start as a farmer, right? So they actually there's a couple shots in there, some helicopter shots where it's like you can see the studio threw a bunch of money into a Lord of the Rings. They got Ray Liotta as like the evil wizard. First of all, that's a bit of a
Good luck!
sort of situation, right? I mean, again, I have just way too much to say about the In the Name of the King movies.
I mean, I love that you can, in those Uwe Boll movies, you can see the extremely simplistic thinking process that he has. Like, of course, he would name...
I love
there's
it.
a base class called Farmer, and he would name the character Farmer.
Yeah,
because
so amazing.
He's just like taking a thing from the game and then doing it literally. And I believe I have mentioned this on the show before, but like with the House of the Dead movie, he kept referring in the commentary, he kept referring to arcades as palladiums because
yeah, dude.
Because he got taken to an arcade in Los Angeles before making the movie, and it was called like the Palladium. And then he thought that's what arcades were called because it was the first time he'd ever interacted with anything like that. And so then
that's some god darn calling a Sprite a Coke for the 22nd century right there, dude.
Yeah, I loved it.
I love that so much. That's hilarious. So we got this Sonic 2 movie come out, and we none of us have seen it, right? Have any of us seen it? I know there's pre-release sending out DVD screeners, probably going to show up in the mail any minute now. I'll have a DVD, and then I'll feel bad about throwing it away. I always break them in half before I throw them away. Because you're not supposed to give them away. You can get your guild license revoked.
Yeah, but man, let me tell you, just a brief aside about that is that if you go to any Goodwill in Los Angeles,
oh, it's full of them.
The movie shelves are full of screeners. It's all screeners in there.
So the weird thing about screeners, for anybody who doesn't know, is they're on DVD. They're on DVD because most of the voters haven't bought a Blu-ray player yet. The word "yet" being this is the official explanation, which is very funny because Blu-ray players came out in 2005. I think you lose the "yet" after like 5 years, right?
Yeah.
It's just, they just don't. It goes from haven't bought a Blu-ray player yet to they don't own a Blu-ray player. These are people whose lives they have lived so long. They think of 17 years as a not yet situation. I haven't bought one yet. Haven't tried Coke Zero yet, right? Like
Christopher Walken has never looked at an email.
Yeah, man. God, those would be the days for me if those were my days instead of his days. Though anyway, we all generally understand that this Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie is probably pretty good, right?
Yes.
Right? The first one was pretty good.
I think it'll probably be good. First one was good. This one's going to have Idris
Elba.
Elba. Yeah, he's
Idris
in there.
Elba doing his...
As none other than Knuckles, yeah. Think he's going to punch some stuff?
Oh, yeah, he has to. I did not see the movie, but I have a colleague who did, who works with me at The Verge. And
are they still alive, or did they die during the movie? Because I would have died.
Now, he is not... I don't think he's like a Sonic fan specifically. Like he plays video games, but he's not like a video game person like I am. So he dabbled.
How dare he get invited to a screening and I'm sitting here like a jerk.
Okay, so yes, because I would have loved to have gone. No, it's fine. But the way that he put it to me is that it was a terrible movie, but he was in the theater with a bunch of like black moms and their kids, and he's black too, and so am I. And he was talking about how these kids got their life, like they loved this movie, and that Sega, like during like parts of the movies, like he showed me a still that I won't repeat because I don't know, spoilers, whatever.
Oh yeah, I don't want no spoilers.
No spoilers. But that Sega seems to be embracing the fact that Sonic is black and like has always like been black and like a cultural institution in black,
especially
people.
Knuckles.
Yeah, especially Knuckles. That this movie is black as fuck, and Sega is like embracing that, which is very exciting to me because Sonic like Dragon Ball is like this huge cultural institution that we've kind of like adopted and made ours. Like Sonic is maybe not Sonic is black, but Knuckles is definitely black. But Sonic as an institution is extremely black. So that's exciting for me.
100%. Someone else once referred to Sonic as Black Mario.
Yeah.
In my presence once, and I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Mario for black people, I absolutely do it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, Mario is for everybody, but Mario is definitely a white guy. You just look at him; he looks like he has a podcast, and it's real bad.
He says it's a me.
He looks like he has a podcast about politics, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What would Mario's podcast? What would his? I don't know. God, I don't know. Like he listens to a lot of NPR, but he can't replicate it. He just can't. I
think Mario would be really upset about other people trying to have rights. I feel like
he would see a person who doesn't look like him getting rights, and he would say, like, that's what he would say.
I get extreme like neoliberal vibes from Mario. Like I would vote, for Obama for a third term if I could, kind of person, but also like calls the cops for every like small infraction. Like he that's the vibe I get from Mario. Luigi, on the other hand, is a fucking comrade.
Mario's from Florida, is what you're saying. Mario.
That's right.
Oh no. Okay, so I guess it's about time we move on to
Question number 3.
Yeah, 3. The number was
3.
In case you can hear the number, right? You can hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I wanted to play the number 3 times. That was the joke there. Question number 3. Wait, I don't like this one. Hold on, I don't like this one. Okay. Man, let's see, this one's good, but I don't really want to ask this really good one right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the goal of this episode is to have
we got 18 minutes. 18
the
minutes.
most substitute teacher sounding episode you could possibly have. Right, and I'm thinking back to this.
Sure. Open your workbooks to chapter 4, and then I would say, but Mr. Tim Rogers, we did chapter 4 last week, and then you start sweating profusely.
We had this substitute teacher in high school who was he was just like a dude, and he went by his first name. And I just Googled him while we were discussing this, and I realized that if I were to give his first name and the location of the school, he's got like a website and a YouTube channel now. 25 years ago, he was, oh Lord, I was in high school 25 years ago. I was in high school 30 years ago almost. Okay, so like about around 28 years ago, this guy was, he was like a young substitute teacher, right? I now know his real age, and he's older than I thought he was. This guy left a bit of an impression on me. And so I'm not going to say his name now because I know he has a YouTube channel. I don't want anybody listening and finding and pointing him out. However, if anybody went to my high school and they're listening and people know what high school I went to, they probably know exactly who I'm talking about because it turns out he's still a substitute teacher there. Holy Lord. This guy had been to Hollywood and he'd been in like an extra on some sitcoms. He was the cool substitute teacher, and you were really glad if he was your substitute teacher. One of the things he did that I'll never forget is during a study hall, he was the substitute teacher for the study hall. He sat down and he said, why don't you guys just tell me what you're thinking about? He's like, you guys see the news lately? Right? We went over the news. And then he's like, what kind of things do you want to study in school that you're not studying? And he like opens up a notebook. This is like viral marketer behavior, right? But number one, we knew he wasn't a fellow kid. Number two, I mean, it's like he was just very sincerely just taking notes. He just kind of wanted to know what kids wanted to know more about. So my question here is, we do list episodes on this show. What kind of list episodes should we do in the future? I think we should do more specific list episodes. How do you feel about like an episode where we do like the 20 best pairs of shoes in video games? Something like that. Something with a little bit of homework involved in it. How's that for a substitute teacher question? What kind of list of video game items would you be interested in doing an episode of?
The longest question I've ever heard.
It's more of an experience than a question.
Yeah,
because we're starting this episode so late and we don't have very much time, and I think it would be fun to discuss, and then you can even invite the community to.
Okay, I have a good one. Because I have a hard time. Like, I don't look at shoes. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
here's something we've all looked at: template packaging design for a software library, right? So like the DS with the white spine and stuff like that. So what is the best package design template system?
I like that.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun ranking episode.
Video game depictions of American presidents.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. I was going to ask a stupid question of like which Sonic character would you vote for president after that, and then I decided instead to ask this, and I'm like, oh, that's good that you come up with presidents. There's a lot of presidents in video games.
American presidents specifically get this like interesting, funny, and or serious like pastiche. Like I'm thinking of the guy from Metal Wolf Chaos, obviously.
Oh, MWC, yeah.
Yes. Default president. Yeah.
in what other ways have video game developers like portrayed the American president? Like, have they gone like the serious like Barack Obama route, or like the absolute batshit clown like Trump like model? Like, how have video?
Oh, the guy from Metal Gear Solid 2, right? He was the president, wasn't he?
Solidus, yeah.
Solidus, yeah. There we go.
That goddarn guy, Solidus Snake. Voiced in the Japanese version by Akio Otsuka, same guy who voiced Liquid and Solid Snake. Interestingly enough,
as it should be. Yeah,
that's one guy voicing all of the snakes. It's beautiful.
All right, I love that one, Ash. That's very good.
All right, what else do we got?
Okay, I got one. Go to Moby Games, hit random 20 times, and then rank them.
Oh, very good. That's a good episode. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a good future theme episode. We can expand this to future theme episodes. What do you think?
Sure.
But also, I mean, the idea of a ranking episode, we're getting to a point where we've done so many console library rankings, top 20 consoles, right? Or top 20 games on whichever console. And then we're talking about possibly doing genres, right? We've been talking about doing like a best sports games episode or whatever, best sports games. We've been talking about stuff like that. See, again, I would be like best arcade racing games. That's a little too general. Like something more specific than that. Top 20 best vehicles in a video game. How's that for a list?
People would love to hear us rank the top controllers, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
top
you
controllers
would get into like blood on the floor with that kind of ranking. People are very special, like about consoles they are, but not so much because it's like passe to be, violent about your favorite console. But it is a whole different thing to be about like controllers. Like I have a feeling people would come to blows over something like that.
Yeah, it might.
I feel like there would have to be some rules laid out beforehand, like
no blows.
Best stock controllers by best like default stock controllers for consoles, because I have come into a recent appreciation of a lot of these third-party controllers or replica controllers. Or I realized, I was playing a game on the Sony PlayStation 2 all day today, and first of all, that controller vibrates a lot.
It does.
It does.
My God.
I've had that thing vibrate itself off of a table before.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Like, I was playing a game today, and when I put the controller down, my right hand palm was numb. Like, legit numb from having been vibrated so hard while I was gripping for the obnoxious challenge I had set myself up for. I feel like I've been playing a lot of PlayStation 2, but I keep forgetting. Every other day, every time I switch back to a modern console and then go back to the PlayStation 2, it's like, wow, they went all out on that. So that would have to be on the ranking somewhere. What other lists?
Best character creators, I think, would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that, but I decided I say that all the time, so I was going to do something different. It was either going to be character creators, fan fiction, or black people, so...
Some of the top subjects. Character creator would be interesting because you can go at it from a few different angles. Like, can you create something realistic, or can you create like exactly what you want to? Like those Tekken character creators where it's just like, okay, here's Mario and whatever. We could talk a little bit about how those interact with the player base, because I feel like Tekken's character creator almost sort of informs who wants to continue playing that game long term in a way.
In Tekken, you can make some absolutely horrifyingly stupid looking characters. Okay, so what about some like more abstract sorts of lists? Are you ready for this? So we already said best presidents in video games. I remember years ago, something about like 10 years ago, when I first recommended we do some weird lists for this show. I was like, for example, top 10 video game characters who you would want to, if you had to have a roommate, like top 10 characters that would make the best roommates, right? And I believe that suggestion was rejected as a little too obtuse. How do we feel about suggestions like that 10 years from now?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Like top 20 video game characters you would vote for the mayor of your city or whatever.
Or you'd have to get a randomizer and stuff. But pitting characters against each other in terms of like, who would you trust to take you to the airport on time? Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We could have a different question.
Yeah, it would always have to be it would have to be randomly selected characters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in nominating.
No.
Yeah, nominating would be too difficult. That's up to the bureaucrats.
Yeah, the fat cat's upstairs.
Or whatever. I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's up to those guys. Some stuff we don't do is like best. Man, I've got a playlist on my private YouTube. That's my favorite video game overworld adventure theme songs. I could talk about any one of those for 5 minutes each, right? That's a list, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best RPG overworld themes. Do an
That's a
episode
tough
like
one,
that.
because you got to play the theme, or else it doesn't really.
It's fair use, baby. It's fair use. Editor just pops it in under the, and then we all just we cruise on it. Jerry.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
This is fun. See, we're having fun here on this
I
episode.
had an idea about kind of piggybacking off of what Tim was saying about who you would want to have as your mayor.
Roommate.
And I feel like I want to ask, like, what would be the best video game character to have, like, as a long-term partner? Like, not in a marry, fuck, kill kind of way, but kind of like in a marry, fuck, kill kind of way.
Just the general. I mean, that's basically what all long-term relationships are. Anyway, it's all three of those at the same time, isn't it? Right? Basically. So yeah, it's the marry thing is always like, I feel like whoever invented the that particular gambit has like a very specific idea of what marriage means.
Yeah, they got a bit of a take my wife, please.
It means you get that person's money, or you can that's basically what their idea of that is. I don't know. I think a randomly selected list of 20 characters, and which one of these rank them in terms of marriageability or long-term relationship ability.
Yeah,
very good list idea. See, these are good. You're gonna get this is encouraging the community to come up with even better ones than we can come up with on our own, and perhaps even Alex Jaffe to come up with even better ones. This is the kind of conversation I realize it would pain Alex Jaffe most to not be able to participate in.
That's true.
It's a little bit of a shame that we're kind of spontaneously doing this here.
Should we do one more question? Because we got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes.
Four.
There it is.
Trust me, it sounds real good on the recording.
Okay.
The Discord crushes it a lot. That was just that was smooth as velvet.
Is this about golf, this question?
Does anybody have a question that's better than this one I'm looking at right here? Does anybody have a better question than the one I'm looking at right now?
Nope.
What are your favorite golf games? Because you just said 4.
Yeah.
It's not a better question.
3. 4.
Oh, I accidentally pressed 3 instead of 4.
4.
There you go. That's the third. We'll press 4 a fourth time.
4.
So now he said 4 times, which is.
But now he said 3 4 times also.
Well,
yeah,
since we have like no time and we're playing Street Fighter 2 dude's voice, something fun and infuriating that I discovered when we were making that collection that we made at Digital Clip Street Fighter 30th is that there is a CD that was released in maybe like 94 or something like that in Japan, and it's a strange concept.
9.
It
4.
is exactly that's when it happened. And the concept is that it's a series of sound fights. So it's like you listen to the stage music and you have like the sound effects of like, I don't know, Ryu and Chun-Li fighting each other, and it kind of pans left and right and stuff like that. But what makes it fascinating and infuriating is that it has like the lossless samples that were crunched to heck down in the game.
Oh, wow.
So actually hearing the original like sonic boom, it's like it's weird. It's really weird hearing that in perfect quality.
The more you listen to those sound effects, and I've listened to them a lot, the more you realize that a lot of them are just the same dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I could tell in the arcade in the 90s, okay? I could tell that it was the same guy doing Sagat and the announcer, right? I mean, I think, and Dalsim, but I kind of believed maybe Ryu and Guile are different guys, and it's like, no, they're the same guy as well. They're the same guy as the announcer. It's quite interesting. Oh, he didn't do Chun-Li though, I believe. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Fun stuff. I have heard those uncompressed samples as well, Frank. And
in that same disc, or did you find them somewhere else?
I have a lot of video game sound effects downloaded over here, and for some reason I have these samples. I mean, maybe they're not the same ones, but they're very clear. And it's off-putting and creepy. Yeah. And I actually put some reverb on these numbers.
6.
Wait, there's no reverb on that one.
5. 4.
Whatever, there's reverb on this.
Number.
Right, so I mean, whatever. Maybe the reverb didn't all go through.
Number.
Oh man, it's real good. When I host a show for real, it's gonna be very important.
I'm ready.
This episode, this is just the substitute teacher episode. Anything anybody wants to recommend doing or enjoying this week? Brandon, recommend a book. Say somebody asks you to read a book. What do you recommend? What do you got?
A book. I recommend any of those Earthsea books by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Oh, those are good.
But I like the second one quite a bit. That's the one with the like Tombs of Atuan or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one that is. I recommend that one. I think that her writing style is interesting because the prose is not it's not perfect, but the ideas in it are so inspiring to me that I'd rather read that than someone who's all up in their prose. That's what I would recommend in terms of a book. I would also recommend that you watch a movie either starring or directed by Jimmy Wang Yu, because he died, and so you may as well check out something of his if you don't know about him. He's like one of the seminal Hong Kong actor-directors. He saved Jackie Chan's career early on, and he was known for his one-armed movies. He had 2 whole arms, but he did a whole lot of one-armed swordsman and one-armed boxer movies. And my favorite movie of his is Master of the Flying Guillotine, which he directed.
A fancy film, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good weird one. I mean, it's also bad, but it's good. Like, it really feels like it was the inspiration for a lot of what happened in Street Fighter 2, speaking of those samples. So give that a look and see what you think at the end.
Yeah, I like that film. Frank, do you want to recommend a book? Everybody recommend a book today.
I gotta recommend a book?
Hey, recommend a book. Don't you read, Jerry?
No, I do not.
Recommend a magazine, then.
I don't read those either. I don't read anything.
Reading sucks.
Come back to me. Let me think about it.
Ash Parrish, do you have a book to recommend?
I have a book to anti-recommend.
Oh, okay. That's that. You know what?
Good luck.
That's all I have in terms of that's good enough. Let's hear it.
So I am very interested in Halo lore, and there's a new Halo TV show out, and I decided
there is.
Yeah, I decided to catch some of the Halo books that I have not read, and everybody and their mother loves rants and raves about Ghosts of Onyx, which was written by the same guy who wrote The Fall of Reach, which I absolutely love.
My mom was talking about that. No, she wasn't, but you said everyone and their mom. That's just that's my joke.
No, but Ghosts of Onyx is actually dog shit, so don't read it. Sorry, I didn't like it at all.
That's another one off of Frank's. Frank has been offered an absolution. He does not need to read that one. Now, as for all the rest,
this proves that I don't have to read books. I seem to remember Jaffe and I talking to Brandon maybe offline about this, so it seems like a good one to do. Which is that Jonathan Swartzwelder, who wrote the most episodes of The Simpsons ever, has written a ton of really
a whole bunch of them
fun books. So just go start with The Time Machine Did It. And go from there, or don't. I don't care what you do.
Guy's got he's got a real good handle on first pages.
Oh my god!
The further you get, the more you. I read a full one just for the experience of it, and I mean I'm not strictly speaking a Simpsons guy. I only did it because I read that article about him that went up.
Right.
He did an interview, and then I read the first pages of a couple of his books, and then I just read a full one, and it was It's just he maintains the energy of the first page for the duration of the book, and it's a little bit awe-inspiring and also a little bit wow. Why would somebody do that? Inspiring.
Yeah, it could be exhausting a little bit.
Yeah,
it is exhausting. I mean, it's nothing but his Simpsons jokes.
Yeah,
and you will know exactly a Swartzwelder joke after reading just one of these books.
Yeah, I most of the Simpsons episodes I've seen and remember are ones that he wrote, and then I kind of checked out of that particular show because I thought myself too good for it. You see?
Well, you might have been.
And I mean, maybe now it's, I don't know. I don't know what I'm good for or not good for. I also once thought myself too good for The Lord of the Rings, the book. But then I watched the movies in 2001, 2, and 3 and enjoyed them and thought maybe I would read those books someday. Well, I've been reading them, and guess what? I like them a lot. So I'm halfway through the Two Towers. So I don't know if I would recommend Lord of the Rings.
There's just one of the tower.
Yeah, I finished one tower, yeah. And then there's one more tower left. It's the chapter called One More Tower Left, Master Frodo is the name of the chapter I'm on right now. Mm-hmm. It begins with that's all I've got for that one. I suppose that's the end of the show. That whole thing where we were talking about analog sticks, just move that to the main show.
Sure.
Why not?
Put it
Just
in there.
Move that to the main show.
This will be an extra exercise for Esper this time.
Esper's an athlete when it comes to this.
Yeah.
He'll do as much exercising as you want.
Dragging and dropping in the Olympics.
Yeah. I would like to see an Olympics of like programming or Excel spreadsheeting. Like give a
I'm
bunch
so
of people,
good at those.
Yeah, a bunch of like data-filled Excel spreadsheets, and who can ever create like the cleanest, coolest table at the end of 30 minutes wins.
You think you could do that, Ash?
Oh, absolutely. I cannot. No, but I would find it fascinating to watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've been doing Excel spreadsheets since before it auto-filled the formulas for you. So I have a whole lot of Excel formulas memorized, which is horrible. You know, your logarithmic functions and whatnot.
You think you're coming away with gold with that then?
Yeah, if it involves even first year calculus in the spreadsheet, then I feel like I stand a chance. I mean, I don't know what all the rules would be, but if it's if you have to actually put a bunch of data in there and have it organized and have a graph output, I think I'm pretty fast at that stuff.
If anyone saw me trying to do some spreadsheet stuff in this competition, they would take me over to the giant catapult and then strap me down and then fling me away into the sea.
I really wish when you open up a spreadsheet, like in Google Sheets, it would just ask you how many cells, how many rows and columns you want, instead of giving you 100 columns and 1,000 rows. Just ask me how many I want. I'll gladly type in a number, instead of having to delete a million things, which is a very clunky, unintuitive.
Yeah, like when you start up a Photoshop file or whatever. They ask you what the resolution is.
Yeah, they ask you what you want, and they even save all your favorites. Your clipboard is right on there. It's quite productive. Not so with the spreadsheets. I had to delete 1,000 rows of a spreadsheet earlier today. Should we do an outro? I'm Jerry John.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to do that.
Stevenson.
Okay.
No rules. Teacher's not here.
The substitute teacher episode, Jerry.
Yeah, teacher's gone.
I suppose we should still recommend that people subscribe to the podcast on whatever app it is you know about. That's the one. I'm not going to list a bunch of apps you don't know because I don't know any of them. I'm not going to lie. When I want to drop the needle somewhere in the middle of this podcast, I open it up on Spotify. I know that they've got that guy on there. They stopped recommending me his podcast every time I open Spotify.
Oh, wow. I guess that's the big change.
It was always right there. It was always right there every time I opened Spotify. I've got my playlist of Japanese psychedelic rock, of Japanese metal, of I got my idol music, my city pop, my instrumentals, my J fusion. I got all that stuff on there. But that's all takes a back seat to telling me that the latest episode of the Joe Rogan Experience came out 6 days ago or whatever, right? They always put that up there first. But now it's gone. It's been gone for around the time people got mad at him and around the time Neil Young took his music off Spotify. So it's not exactly a victory. Because the guy's out there getting, $100 million to just be no smarter or more articulate than 90% of the guys who watched NASCAR in my college dorm. You can listen to the show on Spotify and subscribe on it there. Every little bit helps. Leave a review, etc. Right? Don't mention me in the review, though, because I'll come get you. If you have complaints about me in your review, that's not the place for them.
Put them somewhere else.
You put them on your WordPress blog and whatnot. At any rate, that's the end of our show. Until next time,
You win.
I'm Tim Rogers, and
I'm Brandon Sheffield.
yeah. Very good.
Parrish.
Now it's Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about how it's done here in the Podcast Factory. Thank you.
This episode of Insert Credit Show was hosted by Tim Rogers with Frank Cifaldi, Brandon Sheffield, and Ash Parrish. Editing by Esper Quinn. Original music by Kurt Feldman. Thanks for listening.